Mr. Cartwright, would you come on up here and start your presentation?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me here. My name's Mike Cartwright, but we're really grateful to be here amongst y'all today. Thank you, Billy and Tracy, for inviting us to come speak. I want to do a really good job. I see that we got some people that talk a lot faster maybe than me. I want to make sure you digest everything because I'm going to give you some stuff that you already know, but that's just to build up on what you don't know. Because if you keep coming to these meetings and you keep hearing all of the same thing, it's not doing any good. What I want to make sure is you walk away with something. I proudly served with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office for over 21 years, and I'm really proud of that. No, that's not a picture of me, but that's how it used to be before my day. You might recognize that, Norman Rockwell. And he's got a little boy who's trying to run away from home, and he's got the time to sit and talk to him about that. Well, guess what? We don't have that time anymore. It's a fast-paced environment, and actually, we're under invasion if we're not under a war that just hasn't been declared yet. So I'm going to try and show you about some of that, and want to start out by going to number 2. That card, again, when you get a chance for both of these cards, scan or go to the website because we'd like you to get involved with our website. So what I've come to talk to you about, this first part will be illegal immigration. The second half, we're going to cover a little bit about the U.S. Capitol Police. And what I want to try to do is give you enough information so that you can help protect yourself from illegal immigration. And so, next slide, please. Yep. So we have a map here of the United States of America, and these colored areas are the good guys. These are the guys that are doing the good stuff. They're doing the right stuff. But if you go to Florida, so we have the map of Florida. Red is good, blue is bad. Go figure. And Florida is leading the nation in the illegal immigration fight as far as ICE 287G program, and I'm going to be explaining that to you because it's important for you to know that it is a 50-state border crisis. It is not a border state. Show me the border states down there in the corner before that. These are the border states. And you can see it doesn't look good here either, does it? Texas is losing. Texas is turning purple, it's turning blue. As you can see from our map here, like I said, Florida, 70% of the 67 counties has sheriffs and county commissioners that are exercising the program ICE 287G, which I'm going to explain more to you about. But you can see we could do better. We have 20 counties that are lacking, that do not exercise this, and they are practicing a revolving door policy of catch and release of illegal immigrants who are arrested, who broke the law, coming across the border, strike one, who now land up in your county jail that your taxpayers' dollars pay for, strike 2. Well then, who's the fool that's letting them right back out into our community? Well, it's not just him. Because you have a local sheriff.
For what that's worth.
And you have a Department of Justice. This guy here, if you guys are talking about him, I'm wasting your time, you're wasting my time. POTUS, Puppet, Pinocchio.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Everybody that's blaming him, he's just a puppet. If you're focused on him, you're looking in the wrong direction. Okay? Whether it's the one world order, you want to blame the president before it was supposed to be Hillary Clinton. Divide and conquer. Bait and bleed. You put red ants and black ants in the same terrarium jar, they'll reach a homeostatic stage where they can function together. It's the third party that shakes them up that causes all the problem. So this, Republicans and Democrats, I'm one of the good guys. But I'm going to tell you, sometimes it's two sides of the same bad coin. That's why we come up with terms like rhino, Republican in name only. And we try to identify who those people are because they're not holding to what we value. My opinion, most, is conservative and constitutional values. So we want to turn these blue counties around, and I need to make sure I now define 287G. ICE, Immigration Custom Enforcement, has a program, legislative House Bill 287G. I don't know where they came up with the number. Who cares? Catch and release, revolving door policy of illegal immigrants. You get your sheriff or your county commissioners, because even your sheriffs will try and blame somewhere else, to sign off on it, and it gets approved. Now, the U.S. federal government will pay you pay your sheriff $50 a day to hold that illegal immigrant an additional 48 hours for them to come pick them up and deport them. Why would we take a two-time illegal criminal, came across the border, that's illegal, broke the law, now you're in your county jail, shame on us, we're going to put them back into our own community. You get your sheriff and our county commissioners to sign off on ICE 287G, then they have a contractual agreement to come and pick them up. Problem solved, right? At least it's a step in the right direction. I told you I was going to give you answers in action. You keep coming to these meetings, you keep hearing these campaign speeches, and they want to blame the president, they want to blame the governor. Take a look at yourselves. Take a look at your own backyard. You heard it up here a while ago. They didn't expound on it. We're in a realty office. Forgive me for plagiarizing. Location, location, location. All politics is local. You're worried about Washington, D.C. You're worried about Tallahassee. You can start worrying about your own backyard and what they're doing up there. If you have a constitutional and conservative sheriff, then he may hold the line for you. He can do that. If I have more time in the future, I want to talk to you about that. CSPOA, Constitutional Sheriff's Peace Officer Association. Illegal immigration is a crime. Your governor is not enforcing the law. Well, who's our governor? Well, it's this guy. I re-elected him. I elected him and I re-elected him. Illegal aliens. I gave you one story. Nikki Jones, Lakeland Raleigh. How about her? What did she do wrong? College student. She's out jogging around the campus. She gets attacked by an illegal alien, kills her. Attacked by a migrant who tried stopping her from phoning cops as authorities refused to release her call for help. I want to talk to you about that. FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, and public records, but you get the idea. But when the president has a chance to say something about this high-profile case, he's more worried about he used the word illegal. Can I get an amen? Amen. Is there somebody here to calm me down? Let me tell you something. You may not care about how much I know, but I want you to know how much I care. And that these people like Tracy and Billy who are trying to help you guys make a difference know that you can. Who's Mike Cartwright? Well, I was a cop. I'm not a public speaker. I'm not a tech guy. I'm a Luddite, which means I don't know how to do this stuff. But I'm a United States citizen. I live in the state of Florida. I was a police officer. I proudly served and protected. I had over 100 letters of commendation in my jacket. I got 3 beautiful children who call the state of Florida their home. And I told them I'm going to leave this place better than what I found it. Now they think I'm crazy, and they went to public universities, and they argue with me. They're women, so I got to forgive them, you know. Easy. So we mentioned it, we described it, the catch and release policy, so you get it, it's a revolving door. You understand that if the judge says, time served, pay your fee, you can go, they're walking. If they serve their 30 days and it's up, the sheriff usually can't call in advance and go, hey, I think I'm going to be able to let this guy out at this day and this time. But if you have this retainer, if you have this contract 287G, you get 48 hours and get paid to do it. And the Biden administration is trying to fight us on that, and it's something that we should be exercising, particularly when we think about our 10th Amendment, because they're violating our 10th Amendment about states' rights. And I'm on amendment, so I might as well go ahead and give it to you. We have a right to freedom of speech. And we have a right to protect ourselves. So our First Amendment, freedom of speech, etc. Our Second Amendment, right to bear firearms. What's the first rule of firearm safety? What's the first rule of gun safety?
Treat never keep key.
What?
Treat never keep key. Treat every weapon as if it's loaded, never.
Never give up your guns. Remember, write that down. Never give up your guns.
Bullets first.
There you go. Next one, please. In the past 11 months, 151 people on the terrorist watch list have been arrested by the U.S. Border Patrol after crossing the southern border illegally. That's not the gotaways. That's not the ones that we're supposed to call newcomer and neighbor.
No.
Are you feeling me? Those are the people that might be the terrorists. It's just a matter of time. On 9/11, Ron DeSantis says Mexican border could be the next terror threat. He read my mind. Next. The physical burden of illegal immigration on the United States taxpayers. I got the brochure up here. You can come look at it. But basically, I'm going to sum it up for you. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. They're illegal. They don't belong here. And you are paying for it. Each and every, don't think you're exempt. You're paying for it. You're paying for it. And not just with your taxpayers' dollars. Who here has had a family member or a friend who has lost or been injured by an illegal immigrant? Please raise your hand. There's a few of them that are going up. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't even want to ask how many of you are competing with them for the jobs. Because when I was trying to work my post-career job to try and compete, I was competing with people that couldn't even speak English. And I was trying to ask them, and my supervisor, how did they get a driver's license? Are you sure? And then now, our governor, next, he's trying to help enforce that, particularly with the new law that he passed about employers with more than 25 employees are supposed to do E-Verify to make sure that they see the documentation that they're legal. We do have a good governor. But again, this is just not a 50-state border crisis. Next, please. Oh! But you guys think election integrity. If we just have a good supervisor of election and we don't have to, and we can count the ballots, and we just get out the vote, and we knock on some doors. It's all going to get better and stuff. Their game plan, one of them, is to bring these people in because they think that they're all going to vote blue. They're going to vote Democrat. They're going to vote somehow strange way, without being legal, United States citizen, and without being a legal Florida resident, and without being a registered Citrus County or surrounding voter, that they're going to be able to vote. So President Trump says he's going to do something about it, but we got to do something about it. Your governor's doing something about it. Within the year, he started a coalition. He's exercising 287G. Governor DeSantis announces nationwide coalition of sheriffs fighting back against the Biden crisis, urging federal government to step up their efforts to secure our border. The undersigned sheriffs joined together to partner with the governor and the state of Florida to preserve the safety and well-being of the citizens we serve. This is a good start. And as you can see from the map, we need to turn that around. And you guys can do that here in your county, and I'm going to ask you to try to do that with this map right here. Your Republican Executive Committee, your Republican Liberty Caucus, whatever groups that you can muster and get in there and use the information from this website, SaveAmericaFromIllegalImmigration.com. Use it and whip the vote. You guys are the red. I'm not worried about you. The blue, they're already screwed up. It's the people in the middle, the independents, the no party affiliation, the people that you can persuade, the people that are on the fence, you need to convince. I don't care what's going on that much with the politics here in Citrus County. I care about legal immigration. We tried to do another resolution there, and it failed because of the politics. You guys know what I'm talking about? The Capitol Police, okay? We're going to get to that. I don't care. 100% of everybody in that Republican Executive Committee should be voting to get the resolution to their sheriff and to your governor to exercise ICE 287G and stop the revolving door policy, catch and release of the illegal alien invasion. Please look at this website, SaveAmericaFromIllegalImmigration.com. Use it. Use the resolution that you will find there. Fill in the blank. We created it for you. You just fill in the blank. Go in, preach it, teach it, rock the vote. Can anybody give me a reasonable explanation why your sheriff has not already signed off the 287G?
Lousy sheriff.
He's in lockstep with the Biden DOJ.
He's a fraud.
I hear you. Next.
That's it. Questions?
So now, I'm going to try and hurry through this U.S. Capitol Police.
Questions?
Question and answer period, real short. If you got a really good question, Billy's got his microphone. He might come. Don't get on soapbox because that's what I'm supposed to do. But if you got a question, I'll try and answer it because I know. That's why you guys are here. You have a strong opinion and you do care about it. I know you want, but if you have a question for me that's related to illegal immigration, let me answer that real quick.
Question.
Or we'll move to the Capitol Police. Yes, a question for me on illegal immigration.
We all know that illegal aliens.
Speak up.
Okay, we all know illegal aliens are here and they're getting all the benefits in the world. But how can we ourselves do anything about it when our elected leaders don't seem to be doing anything? How would that relate to that?
His question, you heard it. How can you do something because your leaders aren't doing something about it? Your elected leaders. That's the key word right there, elected. November 2024. That's why you hear me talking about your sheriff, and you were given a choice
They can do a lot of damage in 4 years.
because your sheriff can actually maybe possibly help protect you a lot more than what you know. CSPOA, Constitutional Sheriff's Peace Organization.org, look that up, but it's all about advocating that your constitutional sheriff can help protect you from federal government overreach. The Department of Justice has been politicized and weaponized against you. I'm a patriot. You're a militant. You're a racist. Gotta get a label on everybody. Right-wing extremists. That's what they're projecting onto you. You guys are good people, and it's like you don't want trouble, you don't want cause.
Right, you forgot MAGA.
MAGA. Yeah, make America great again. No, make America Florida. Make America Florida. Please help me. Florida is one of the leaders. You see what's going on with these maps with our quarter. But yes, greatest president ever, and you're going to see that in this next video. There was one more question. Make it a good one.
How do we stop the NGOs from aiding and abetting? We have people, we have transportation, and they're transporting them, and we're paying for all the gas and everything. We don't have anybody to stand up for that.
Non-government organizations, defund them. The Red Cross, they're giving money, they're giving maps, they're helping people across. Defund them. Red flag them, defund them, find out who they are, and defund them. We got to jump into a legal Save America from the Capitol Police, if that's all right with you guys, and I'll try and help you with that real quick. Next. Top. Go to the next. Death of a nation. Look at that image. Who's that image? Who was that image? Abraham Lincoln and Trump. Same image, right? You see it? I was telling you about Abraham Lincoln and Trump. Abraham Lincoln and Trump. Watch this.
Democrats smeared him, went to war against him, assassinated him. Now their target is Trump.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Who are the real racists?
Northern Democrats have conspired together with Southern Democrats to take away the fruit of other people's labor.
Who are the real fascists?
Both Mussolini and Hitler set up and ran welfare systems.
So who are the racists? Who are the fascists? That's what I was trying to make a point. They're labeling you. Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals from the 70s tells about the 13 principles, their game plan to destroy America from within. Please consider looking at Kathy Chamberlain, a fellow Tampa Bay Patriots, Rules for Deplorables, which counters each one of those. You can educate yourself and become more than what you are, because that's what we need to do. I wasn't a public speaker, I wasn't a computer person. I made this PowerPoint because I care about you, I care about my community. The founders never intended for Americans to trust their government. Our entire Constitution was predicated on the notion that government was a necessary evil, to be restrained and minimized as much as possible. Rand Paul. This book by Stephen March, The Next Civil War. It's coming. It's already here. It's already here. There's an invasion.
Gunfire hasn't started yet.
There was BLM and Antifa and riots. This is just maybe the calm before the storm. Oh, wait a minute. He writes, the next U.S. Civil War is already here. We just refuse to see it. the Civil War. It started Fort Sumter, 1861, in April, when the Confederates fired upon Union forces. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Those who do not study history are doomed to repeat it. The winners write history. Some people would argue that it started with John Brown coming all the way from Texas to Harper's Ferry to try and take their armament to start his war supporting abolition. He came with some fellow abolitionists and some black slaves, and they were trying to make a difference. Wait a minute. It started right here, Pensacola. There was a Florida just a few hundred miles from where you guys are at. This is ground zero, Tampa, and you guys are close enough, so I'll include you guys. But this is where the Civil War started, because the Florida militia marched on a Union fort to take their armament, and they got fired upon, and they retreated. But who writes history? The winners. When the South lost the Civil War, what capital east of the Mississippi had not been captured? Tallahassee. There were some battles. They tried. The battle for Natural Bridge. River goes underneath this thing. They tried to march on it and take it, but they didn't. Next, please. Go back to CSPOA. So CSPOA can help you. Take a look at it. Constitutional Sheriffs Peace Officer Association. They are trying to restore constitutional policing. Who's not? Blue sanctuary cities and counties. Though your local police forces are being politicized and weaponized to target you for SWAT, for special weapons and tactics. If they can SWAT and attack Mar-a-Lago, the 45th president, who thinks that that can't happen to you? How about it, Panda Man? You know, can you feel me? You guys, you understand? You're not above the law. Back one. No, so back up to the military surplus. 9. Military surplus. When they get done using your military equipment and it's still good, they get taxpayers' dollars write-off to give it to local government. You don't always need a Bearcat armored personnel carrier that's got the inflatable tires with the armored turret piercing. You don't always need it. You do need it sometimes, and you do need it in cities, but do you need it in Citrus County right now? No, because you good people are in charge. You're holding your local officials to accountability and transparency. Remind me to talk to you about that with FOIA, but here it is. Go to FOIA. Next one down. Rank and file. These are good guys. For the most part, they're just like me. They want to do a good job. They want to protect you and their families. You're not getting that with the U.S. Capitol Police because they're underneath the legislative branch. They're not subject to FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, public records. So you don't have the accountability and transparency. You guys had a vote in your rec on this, and we need to better prepare you on informing those people in the middle on the vote. If your police force does not have accountability and transparency, you're in trouble. If your lawyer, if your family member, if the news people can't go and get the records, this guy's a mind reader over here, because they're heavily redacted, then you don't have accountability and transparency. Do you understand? The Capitol Police belong in District of Columbia, the 2 mile continuous square miles of the Capitol building is where they belong, because they have created federal government overreach because they're trying to expand their budget. They want to double their budget within a 4-year period and bring on twice as many law enforcement officers. They're expanding they already got an office in Tampa, but it's not just a Hillsborough problem. It's just not a Florida problem. It's a nation problem, because at the same time, they set up a Capitol Police office in San Francisco. Did that protect Mr. Pelosi from attack? You remember? Someone broke into his home and attacked him. They weren't even monitoring the live cameras that they had there. Multi-jurisdictional task force is what I got to make sure you understand. It's just not the Capitol Police, because if your state police, your local city police, or your county sheriff go out in a multi-jurisdictional task force under the umbrella of the Capitol Police, i.e. DOJ, FBI, DHS, to serve a warrant, remember, it can happen to you. They break the door, they impound your guns, they take your money, they hurt the dog, there's a use of force if someone gets hurt, there's a police pursuit, someone gets hurt, property gets damaged, your family, your lawyer, your news media wants those public records, and the Capitol Police say, no, you're under our multi-jurisdictional task force. Do you think that your sheriff is going to say no when he wants that federal money come in because he wants to get more police and more equipment? He's not going to be so inclined unless he's constitutionally and conservative minded and he's interested in protecting and serving you, because our government is supposed to come from we the people up and not from them down. Look at this beauty. January 6th, 2021, he's at the U.S. Capitol building. They arrest him, they detain him, they cut him loose. He was one of the bad hats. He was one of the black hats. He was one of the bad actors. He was before with Antifa and BLM in Portland with the riots. Well, the picture on the right shows when the press conference was held with the Pinellas Sheriff Galtieri, who said, look at us! We did a really great job. We arrested this guy. He had these explosive devices. We did a search warrant on his home. We got my helicopter out, and we went and we took these pictures. And, you know, his Antifa helmet was in there, so that's another additional charge of gang enhancement. And then also with the Terrorist Act, that's an enhancement. They had all this felony charges. I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, because we saved me. I was there. George was there. Who else was at the Pinellas County Jail? Jack Martin was there. This young man was there. We were there at a peaceful prayer vigil, praying for a 20-year veteran, U.S. Army, Green Beret, Jeremy Brown, who was unjustly incarcerated. He was there on January 6th. He didn't hurt the police. He didn't damage any property. He didn't go into any restricted areas. Never was tried for that. What he was tried for is he exposed the politicized and weaponized DOJ that came to his home in December, about a month before the event, saying, we want you to come work for us. We got oath keepers and 3%ers and these people called patriots that we are concerned about. And they didn't fill in the rest of the blank, is that we're going to set them up for failure on January 6th. Because I need to make sure I'm clear. This is my disclaimer. I was a cop. I back the blue. I back the rank and file. Most all of those entry-level people are good people. If you hurt the police, you damage property, you go into an area that's restricted. When they did the search warrant on his home, this was part of the prepper list he had for his terrorist act. You do that, you need a good lawyer, and you need all the evidence, but when the judge says you're guilty, well, you're out of line. But that's not what happened with Jerry Brown. That's not what happened with a lot of other good people that went to exercise their First Amendment. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government. That's where we got that Second Amendment and those gun safety rules to protect that. That's what the framers of our Constitution gave us. So what did we do? We didn't sell our dust. We created a resolution. We sent it to the governor. And he was hot on the topic when it first came out. Get the Capitol Police out of here. It's a violation of our 10th Amendment of states' right. It's federal government overreach. Wait a minute. I'm running for president now. And you know, that insurrectionist leader is my competition. And I gotta knock him down a few notches. I'm sorry. I think DeSantis is the greatest governor, but let's get back to being the governor. And quit thinking about when you want to be president. You got to think about 48th, not the 47th. Yep. In my humble opinion. So we wrote a resolution, and we sent it to the governor. I twice have stuck papers in his hand asking him for help. It was unanswered. Well, now that he's not running, it's up to you good people, Republican Liberty Caucus, Republican Executive Committee, go back, with that vote, ask, petition the resolution that you get your governor to help us remove the Capitol Police Office, not from Tampa, not from Hillsborough County, from the state of Florida, from the nation. They opened an office at the same time in San Francisco. Now they opened up an office in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Boston, Massachusetts, and they won't disclose in Governor Abbott's Texas, will they? They won't tell us, but that's what they're doing. Federal government overreach. You can't go to their website, get their address of where these offices are. I've called to try to get to the local office. You can't. I've gone and called to the Washington, D.C. office. Please, will you give me the address? I'd like to stop by and talk to them because they think it's a secret. In Hillsborough County, they're at 2224 North Falkenberg Road. 2224 North Falkenberg Road. That's where I used to work. That's where I worked with a lot of other really good deputies. And we need to get back to having a good sheriff's office because, as I showed you on that map, Hillsborough's blue. And that's because we have a need to elect another sheriff in Hillsborough. So this website, Save America from U.S. Capitol Police, back, please go to it. Please click in the right button, sign the petition, your name, your email address. We're trying to get from our 3,700 signatures to 5,000 signatures so that we can finally send this to the governor to get them removed. We need, please, in your meetings, please, on your website, Sabrina Watson 287, if you think I'm out of line, that lady is a tiger, okay? She'll help you. That's what you guys need to do. You need to speak up. As I step out of my comfort zone and I exercise my First Amendment, I'm trying to encourage this also. You go to these clubs and you get your meal and you get your beer and you get your coffee and you raise your hand and you say, well, what are you going to do about that? It's you. It's all you. That's the point I'm trying to make. So these two websites have resolutions, fill in the blank, that you can do this on. Again, the QR code scans are in the top right corner, where I've got some cards. Save America from uscapitolpolice.com. Prior, Save America from illegalimmigration.com. How unique. Save America. It was like it took all that time. I'm trying to start a tour. I'm trying to get the message out. I want to thank Billy and Tracy. You guys should too for allowing me to come. I'm very grateful. Please help me to help you to save Citrus County, Florida, and the United States of America. I'm Mike Cartwright.
Questions? Questions?
Is there any questions? Is there any questions? You're going to cut me off. Really good question.
You can take some questions.
Okay, you have a question, sir?
Yes.
Give him the microphone. Really good question. Let's see who's got the best question.
All right, first of all, I'm gonna.
What kind of medication do I take? No, obviously, it's not good enough.
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna make a statement, then I've got a question. Okay, in 2023, the Capitol Police budget was $734 million. Understand, this only covers a 2-square-mile area in Washington, D.C. The 2024 budget was $840 million. That's $106 million more. Back then, Nancy Pelosi, Capitol Police got sent to offices in Tampa and San Francisco. Nancy Pelosi stated she wants it in all 50 states. Right? In 1933, Hermann Goering started what was called the Gestapo, which means secret police. That's exactly what it is, because what you said about the multi-jurisdiction, whenever somebody falls under their jurisdiction, they're exempt from the FOIA laws. You cannot, so that is the secret police. My question is, how many states are they in right now?
5, again, Tampa, Florida, San Francisco, California, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Boston, Massachusetts, and they dare not tell Governor Abbott in Texas, because he'd probably do something about it. I don't know if it's open yet, or maybe he's still fighting that, but the media released that. But again, the media does not tell you the address, because wouldn't you like to go in and talk to them and take them a donut or a cup of coffee and go, hey, I'd like to let you know we're good people, you know? Because that's what accountability and transparency is. That's what we have the elections for. Yes, young lady.
Okay, well, I can guarantee you, Governor Greg Abbott knows that the DC police are there. Remember, the governor has to let them into the state. They cannot get in without the governor's permission. So any state that is housing the DC police, the governors are aiding and abetting this against the people. So none of them get to claim innocence.
I like it. We should send her to Tallahassee to talk to our own governor. Right? Because that's what the 10th Amendment is. In Hillsborough County, they're trying to get away with saying, well, it's on the sheriff's office property, and we don't want to get into litigation of the county giving permission and then us having to have the state usurp that. So it's a game, and again, one of the best ways is to, with the vote in the elections, and don't just think about Washington, just don't think about Tallahassee, think about locally. Yes, sir.
One more? Okay, can I ask one more? Okay, well, all right, now we do know that the Speaker of the House can recall the DC police, because they're the one that started it, so they can stop it. So are you working on any kind of plan right now to look at the DC police, or not the DC police, but the Speaker of the House, to get rid of them? And that's exactly what we were told when we tried to pass the resolution. You gotta bypass anything in the state and go to the Speaker of the House. Will you do something, help us to all do something about that?
Yes. I wrote to Mike Johnson's office. Didn't hear anything. Didn't hear anything. I wrote to the interim Speaker of the House. What was the guy's name that when Nancy Pelosi went out and we got the majority? Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah.
I wrote to him, didn't hear anything.
You won't.
You won't.
A lot of times, if you write to them, people, and particularly like when Mike Johnson, I think he was still only fielding calls from his constituents. And that's wrong, because if he's the Speaker of the House, I'm a constituent, right? But because he is from another state, when I wrote him, I'm sure that their AI, artificial intelligence, automated and just took me out of the loop. Does that sound familiar? Because you write to someone, you don't even get your own local politicians oftentimes to answer you.
When we see Byron Donalds, okay, here, he said, one letter ain't gonna do nothing. You gotta swamp them with letters before it catches their attention.
That's right. That's right. Quality and quantity. You've got to get lots of letters, lots of phone calls. You have to swamp them. And that's one of the things you do. You don't want to go to a flag wave because it's hot, and you want to be a digital warrior at the home, and you want to make the phone calls, and you want to make the letters. There's something you can do. This is your country. This is the greatest country in the world. Still, will it be the greatest country in the world after November 2024?
Anybody else? One more. Got one more question.
So, we have to create a strategy, Mike.
Answers in action. Answers in action. And I hope you've been taking notes. These terrorists and right-wing militants have up here in the front row.
It's a weapon.
Power of the pen. Power of the pen. Power of the word. It is powerful. Question.
Good evening, thank you for your presentation. I work with Congressman Bill Rackus. I know that House Freedom Caucus members oftentimes get death threats. I mean, Gus gets death threats, but not like House Freedom Caucus members. And I know for a fact, for instance, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna likes to use the U.S. Capitol Police for escort purposes. So I'm not trying to be an apologist for them or trying to defend them. However, there are some instances, for instance, she just had a little baby, and I happened to be on the same flight as her the other day, flying out of Tampa Airport, and I saw the U.S. Capitol Police officer escorting her to the airport until she actually got on the plane. She had her baby with her, who came on the flight with her. So
I have an answer.
Okay.
Give me the question.
So the question is, in those instances, would you agree that the U.S. Capitol Police officer might serve a purpose?
No.
If it's to protect members of Congress, for instance,
I got the answer.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. They
No.
do provide executive bodyguard protection. They've always done that. Capitol Police Office was open like in Philadelphia before, and then it went to Washington in like 1800, and then the first U.S. Capitol Police was one lone night watchman. They've been around forever. Yeah, we do have Congress people who do receive threats, and they need to be protected. Yes, I have reached out to Anna Paulina Luna on multiple times, and I've not gotten any answers. Yes, before she got elected, she answered my phone calls, and she answered my text messages, and she answers my emails and stuff. But that's what they do. Yes, she got threatened. Yes, she needs it. I gave you a presentation about the U.S. Capitol Police Office. It's apples and oranges. Those executive protection special agents do not have powers of arrest. They'll detain, they'll wait for the local authorities, they'll have DOJ, FBI, and DHS write up the criminal affidavit. You tell me if you see a CRA that's got a U.S. Capitol Police Office on it, because they're out and under the guise that they're conducting investigations. Well, like I said, if you hurt the police or you damage property, you need to be investigated. You need to have a trial and stuff. And if you get threatened, you do need to have that protection. Federal government overreaches. We have over 75 federal law enforcement agencies.
Wow.
How many more do you need? Their mode of operation, modus operandi, is it's better to ask forgiveness than it is to ask permission. Write that down. Because that's how they're operating. Do you have a question, young man?
The only time the Capitol Police is supposed to leave the District of Columbia is if a congressperson is threatened or needs an escrow. They're not supposed to set up a permanent
That's right.
facility.
The office is
That
allowed.
is under the
Get 'em
First
out.
Amendment.
Where did they get the authority to go out of state, out of
Where did they get the authority to go out of state? Well, it's written by the legislative branch for who they work, so it's legal. And we don't have a problem with a congressperson that's been threatened. Because as we back the blue, we back the politicians who are doing a good job. Or not, if they get threatened, that's not how we do business. That's not legal, that's not ethical, and that's not what we're advocating for. But what we're saying is that we don't want you to come and set up an office. They can send their marching orders out to DHS and the FBI and the other local offices to do that. Because I've looked at an affidavit and I've asked, from what I understand, what I've been told, outside of the District of Columbia, they do not have powers of arrest. Now, if they're standing there and they got a gun to your head and they got you on the ground and you're pruned out, you're detained. You kind of get the idea on your arrest, but it's someone else that fills out the CRA and takes them to the jail because they actually don't have the powers that you guys, we, are mistakenly giving them. Because what did Benjamin Franklin try to tell us when someone came up after he got done writing the Declaration of Independence and Constitution? They said, what kind of government do we have? A constitutional republic if you can keep it.